All right, still no alpha, but the Fire Mage rework came out on alpha, and we have the talent tree update on the War Within calculator. So I would highly suggest taking a look at it. Obviously, this looks weird as heck because right now there's 7 capstones, and their goal for this seemed to be to nerf SKB a little bit and to balance some of the capstones, make it so Living Bomb kind of has a place in like Fire's Fantasy going forward. And again, they were trying to like push Ignite out a little bit, which is kind of weird because how they did it doesn't really make sense because they made it so it seems like there's no Living Bomb button anymore, but you have like this passive Living Bomb thing where Consuming Hot Streak has a chance to essentially apply Living Bomb to your enemies, and then when you cast Phoenix Flames, and then you just have a bunch of things that buff Living Bomb. But this is still entirely passive AoE, so like you could just play all the Living Bomb talents and all the Ignite talents, and then just have like a even better passive cleave. So I don't really know what they're going for here, because it kind of seems like you could just do that, but I don't know. Anyway, talent tree, super wacky, super weird, right? So they moved everything around. Now we're picking up a bunch of random stuff. You'd just be saying we're doing all this. It's pretty common. They could probably remove critical mass potentially. So anyway, yeah. So they shifted all the ignite stuff over here. They give you improved Scorch only stacks 2 times, and then they gave you an alternative option where Scorch deals 300% damage to targets below 30% health. This should actually be pretty competitive. The Down the Flames thing is kind of weird because Scorch does like no damage, but they also, it kind of seems like Scorch doesn't do 130% base increased damage anymore, right? That's something that, like right now, Searing Touch makes it deal 175% increased damage. Now it just deals no increased damage, and then this will make it do 300%. I don't know. That's pretty bad because Scorch doing 175% damage is still not a lot right now. But the fact that Improved Scorch no longer doesn't increase damage, and then the other one would, makes it so maybe this passive one's like kind of okay, really. Right now, I think Improved Scorch is about 1.7%. If you did Down in the Flames, you'd have like, I don't know, that'd be like 0.6% maybe, something. I did it I did the increase, but I forgot about the Searing Touch increase. So if you had Searing Touch already, so 175% plus 300%, it would only be like 0.8, but whatever. Anyway, so yeah, you have all these like Ignite talents, right? You got your Phoenix Flames talents, you got your Control Destruction thing, which they changed to increase the damage received from Ignite by 2%, which is initial tuning. Master Flame. We have 2 stacks of Febrile Incantation now, which Febrile Incantation is really good, so we're probably going to want to be always grabbing these. Here's Wildfire, which they nerfed a little bit. And then they added this spontaneous combustion thing to this choice node, which it seems horrible. Like it's a pretty bad choice node. I think improved combustion just clears that quite a lot because it makes your crit actually useful when you're in combust, and it increases combust duration. And this thing just gives you charges of Fire Blast and Phoenix Flames, and you don't need them that much, right? You can pool pretty easily because the area outside your combustion doesn't matter that much. So they also changed Flame Accelerant, so it seems like you won't need to not cast a spell to actually get the value from this. And obviously it'll work with Fireball, Flame Strike, or Pyroblast, but it seems like it will most likely just be used on Fireball, because this could be like a nice little interaction with SKB, but at the same time, by the time you reach SKB, it's pretty likely you're going to have casted Fireball in the last like 12 seconds or something, so yeah, I don't think this is ever really going to affect your SKB. But yeah, Kindling Storm remains the same. Fire Rush remains the same, but they moved this stuff down, which is fine. And they nerfed SKB to be 10 hot streaks instead of 8. And then they also made it so UI has an AoE effect, and that it reduces the CD when you cast Flame Strike and does 25% increased damage. Really, so that seems good. They didn't buff Unleash Inferno's single target, and they nerfed SKB instead, which is fine, but SKB might still just be flat better, which would make a little bit of sense because that's the flat damage profile versus the burst damage profile, because it was like 15% ahead, and so nerfing it by 2 things, I don't really suppose how bad I am at math right now, so we're not gonna do that. But yeah, I think UI still needs like a little bit of a single target bump, maybe. But anyway. This makes a lot of sense that they moved Firefall behind Meteor. I like that a lot. It was a little degenerate what we did before, and now you'll actually have Meteor if you want Firefall. Makes a lot of sense. Firefall just makes sense as a Meteor capstone. They left Sun or Deep Impact in. They left Deep Impact in, which everyone I hear from basically is like, that's dumb, I guess, because no one's ever used this talent. But I think it's good because there's potential for it to be used with Firefall, right? Or not with Firefall, sorry, with Frostfire. Like if you're playing Frostfire and you go into Meteor, you talent Firefall, you talent Deep Impact, suddenly that's a lot of Comet Storms you're throwing out, okay? And like that's a lot of Comet Storms that you're throwing out. So I like these 3 nodes. I think that has like potential with Frostfire. Kind of wish people in Alpha were testing that a little bit, but you know they aren't. That's okay. Not really much to test, right? Because most of the numbers stuff just matters from sims and everything. But yeah. Anyway, going to these new talents over here, right? Consuming Hot Streak has a higher chance of getting you this passive Hot Streak thing or Blue Mom thing, which requires you Phoenix Flames, by the way, which is a little bit of a pusher for Albatross's Fury, just because if you're Phoenix Flaming outside of CDs, or honestly, it could be a pusher From the Ashes. It just feels really bad to use Phoenix Flames with From the Ashes because, or outside Combust because it won't crit. But the CDR from it is really useful because if you get this too many times and you're trying to use Phoenix Flames elsewhere, you just won't have enough Phoenix Flames really. So that could be kind of annoying, but yeah. We have this, which I like, where you have a choice between Flame Patch or just increased Flame Strike damage. I can see Quick Flame being taken, quite a lot, especially on like Sanguine Weeks and stuff. So I'm a big fan of that choice node, just existing. We have Living Bomb deals 300% increased damage when it hits one target. This is kind of single target node, so if you just have like extra points, I guess, around here, because some of these Ignite nodes are going to be kind of useless in single target, you'd just be taking this as well, right? And then we have Flame Strike and Living Bomb. Apply Mastery Ignite at 100% increased effectiveness, making Mastery just a little bit better, both single target partially from here, and then also for AoE for Flame Strike, because right now Flame Strike kind of avoids Mastery in favor of versatility. Then we have this, which is another single target thing, so it's kind of weird there's 2 of them, right? Because this is, I guess this is works at more than 1 target, so it works at like 2 targets or 3 targets too. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see that scaling. And this thing is like, it reapplies itself whenever it expires if it only hit 1 target. So single target only, It just depends like the frequency of your procs, because if you can only have 1 like bomb up at once, this would be kind of bad. But if you could, like, especially once we get into later things like here, so you have a really high chance of doing your lit fuse, you could have like 4 living bombs up at once or something if you get lucky in combustion, which would be kind of cool. So I think that would be fun if that was possible. It is a little annoying that this doesn't let you go straight down to Explosivo, because this is a 2-point node that's kind of annoying to take. So yeah, it really limits you here. All right, and then we have our Season 2 tier set, which some people might not like because of the main stuff. They also, this is only 14-second duration. I think it's 20 seconds right now on for our tier set, so that's kind of annoying to maintain, right? Because you have to maintain this with Phoenix Flames, you have to use your Phoenix Flames to apply your Living Bombs, and you have to use your Phoenix Flames just rotationally. So they said they were reducing the maintenance buff stuff, but this is a lot of maintenance thinking that you're required to do, really. So that could be hard. And then we just have our Season 2 4 set, which is really fun. This is a great talent. It's worth noting that we don't have the old Phoenix Reborn, where your Ignite damage had a chance to reduce the cooldown of your Phoenix Flames, so that might make this kind of awkward in AoE, and that you're just locked into From the Ashes for the CDR. Because the old Phoenix Reborn having the CDR in AoE was really nice for the Flame Strike playstyle, right, in Season 2 and everything, so could be good to have that back. Then we have this, which seems out of place as a capstone, really. When Phoenix Flames damages 3 or more enemies, your next 2 Flame Strike has their cast time reduced by 1.5 seconds, and their damage increased by 20%. Ideally, this would probably have to stack or something, because 1 Phoenix Flames, 2 Flame Strikes, the math ain't mathin', right? Obviously, this is a little bit intended for like your filler, but it should still apply to your Hot Streak one, so we'll see. It's kind of like a passive buff, which is okay, but I feel like you might go for some other things, because this just seems it's aimed at like filler and using Phoenix Flames and filler, but a lot of times we aren't going to do that, right? Like imagine playing From the Ashes and trying to do this. But then you're playing From the Ashes and you're like having to use it with Phoenix Flames that don't crit for Charring Embers, Phoenix Flames that don't crit for Phoenix Reborn, that don't crit for Lit Fuse. It's just weird. I think they should probably make it always crit and just rebalance this node or something, but yeah. So we have our Fever Incantation. We have this thing, where Phoenix Flames only hits one target, deals 50% increased damage, and applies Ignite at 100% effectiveness. This could be kind of fun in single target with this talent, right? You're just like, I mean, that was part of the fun of this talent, was you were just chunking. And like with this thing, you would just be absolutely chunking. And we're almost definitely going to take 2 points of Fever Incantation always, because it's just a really strong talent. So, yeah. We have this, which is basically just Shaman Mastery, where you cast it, has a chance for the spellcast to repeat. It counts as Consuming Hot Streak, which means it'll give you a stack of Slanking's Blessing, or like your Burden of Power. Whatever this is when you consume a Hot Streak. So this could be pretty nice synergy just for stacking things up a lot better. It's a little RNG, like it's rather RNG, so I don't know if I like that. And then the other question is, it's going to repeat the Flame Strike where? Where is it going to repeat the Flame Strike? Hopefully at your target, because if it repeats your Flame Strike where you Flame Strike, what if nothing's there anymore, But it'll probably repeat like really fast, so that's probably not an issue. Just thinking about it. I still haven't changed Hyperthermia at all, because this is rather bad. Especially considering the fact that you're going to have this, right? You're going to have Memory of Valar to give you all the Hyperthermia uptime. So, yeah. I like Hyperthermia. If they made it more consistent, that'd be really nice. Which is technically what Memory of Valar does. It just makes it more consistent. Which is amazing. So I think Fire's looking like it's going to feel great. But, yeah, you can literally just, make a Living Bomb playstyle here that's going to be like Ignite as well. So well, Living Bomb, and then how many points I have? Yeah, so you probably want to do like that or something, and then boom, Ignite playstyle. Woohoo. This tier set's not very good for Ignite, so that's kind of interesting, right? Now I just have a bunch of passive damage. I'm still spamming Power Blast and single target for AoE. So we'll see how they balance this and how it turns out when people are like doing it in when keys come out, I guess, in the War Within testing. It'll be a lot better of an indicator, because Ignite would just kind of suck in whatever key level they're, or I used to do an M0 or Heroic Dungeon, right? That would just suck. So this looks good. I'm excited to see the Arcane thing. The thing that would be really bad for Arcane is they gave Fire their Season 2 set and their 4 set. That's okay. For Fire, I think the Season 2 4 set made like some sense. It's a kind of an annoying debuff, honestly. But it's manageable. The Arcane Season 3 2 set is kind of what was dynamite. They were going to give Arcane the Season 3 2 set and 4 set, which is the one we currently have, where it's like, oh, you stack up an increase in damage percentage every time you use clear casting, and then with a completely separate buff, you get your Cleave Missiles. Cleave Missiles is great. The stacking damage based on clear casting is absolutely horrendous, because you just have a low chance to get clear casting, falls off a lot in AoE, and it's just like doesn't add anything to your gameplay. It's really annoying to try and like maintain it between pulls as Arcane, or in like downtime as Arcane. You're just spamming Explosion trying to get into clear casting to extend it. So I really hope they don't add the 2 set for Arcane to the tree, even though it looks like they will. The 4 set, amazing, perfect, but the 2 set, no. Please no. And then they did some other Sun Fury tuning, like they just made the Arcane Soul have your Barrage, generate 4 Arcane charges in a clear cast, which sounds amazing. So, yeah. Mage looking great. I don't think they're going to do really any extensive reworking of the Frost Mage tree, but we'll see. It is really nice that they're putting the really good tier sets into the tree, right? I wanted them to do that for... this tier set is good for Fire. Really, I kind of like the tier set for Arcane Season 1, which made Radiant Spark a lot less RNG, but Radiant Spark seems like it's likely to be getting a little bit of the Axe next expansion, so we'll see. how that works. It also just made me feel like TBC, right? Your arcane blasts have a 50% crit rate. You're just slamming. It's pretty fun. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. I will see you all later. I'm going to be streaming a raid tonight, I guess, if anyone wants to watch, at 8 p.m. CST. So